assess the transition 2 weeks into spring ball?
Well, we got a lot to get better at. We've got a great staff. I really like how the coaches, but terminology and just the whole one gap, instead of two gapping and getting up the field. We've got, a lot of work ahead of us. The kids have been receptive, but at the same time, we all got to get better.
Do you feel like you have the bodies to do the 4-3? Is there a lot of defensive linemen you like?
Well, I think right now it's too early to say. I mean, there's some length, which is good. There's some athleticism, which is good, but, you play the game, you have pads on. And it's a physical game, and it's got to be physical up front. You've got to hear football. And I told them today I didn't hear football.
The players say that they really feel like your loud voice has kind of created the intensity that they maybe need on the field. How have you seen them respond to you in the past 2 weeks?
Well, the kids have been great. We're trying to hold each other accountable for everything. And, really when we become what we want to become, it's their voices. It won't be mine. So it's a transition and learning for everybody.
Also a transition for you settling into that DC role. How is it going for you so far?
It's fun. I mean, we got a great staff, and it's fun, and I love defense, and that's, where my heart's always been, so it's been good.
Talking with the coaches, they also say you've made some necessary changes that this program needed, especially after last season. What changes were you trying to make in your first few months here?
I'm just being who I am as a coach, to be honest with you. We expect us to get better every day as coaches. If we're not more competitive than the coaches at SC, then we're making a mistake. So, I think just the work ethic the guys have shown and what we've done, there's a lot of positives, but we're still not the kind of team that we need to be.
You said you're going to go in without any preconceived notions on the players. A few players jumped at it at all?
I think that would be unfair for me to say that right now until we get a little further along because, just like everybody else, some people learn faster than others, and we've got to do a good job of making sure we're not. Good question. Making sure we're not doing too much, for the players.
Don really didn't have a playbook. They did a lot of new stuff on a huddle, and the guys are sort of comparing your playbook to like a Harry Potter book. Have you gotten much feedback from the guys about your playbook?
Well, the number one, my skills in technology aren't very good. So I need paper and I need to see things that way. But, believe me, there's a ton of defense we could run and put in, but we've got to be smart enough as coaches not to have so much in that from a mental standpoint, they can't play the way we want them to play.
How much do you have to get in this spring?
We've got to get a little bit more of our sub package in and a little bit more in the red zone. I wish I'd have had a little more for today in the red zone, but those are two things that I know we need to, from a base front, 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 4 guys in the back end, we've got almost what we need to have.
Coach Ken Pamatule came here with a lot of expectations. He said the other day that he's really excited to play in your defense because of my turnovers. How do you see him fitting in your scheme?
Well, I think, from a physical standpoint and what he looks like, he should be a guy who can play a 3 or a 5 in there. The one thing right now that's held him back is, he's been beat up a little bit, and like I've told all of them, if you're not out there, you can't be evaluated. If you're not evaluated, you can't play. So hopefully he'll get back on Monday, and that will be because he needs to progress a lot.
You guys have talked a lot about the energy you bring to practice and an sense of intensity. What do you try and get out of the practice field, and what's your coaching style out there?
Well, there's a lot of honesty, and we told them that if we're going to coach you hard, but we're going to be consistent every day in what we're doing. And personally, getting out on the field is my funnest time being with those kids every day. Now, Mrs. Hoke doesn't like that, but that really is being with those guys and helping them grow in a lot of different ways. But, from the football aspect, you can't play the game if you don't have energy. I don't know how you could coach it if you don't have energy.
Ronnie Prevost said you had swag. Do you feel like you have some swag?
I have no swag. Believe me, you'll find that out.
The secondary took their lumps last year and they were very young. What have you seen from that personnel group so far?
Well, I think they are young in some regards. There's some guys who have played a lot of snaps who they've got to set. They really are the ones who have to, set the tempo every day. And, we're pushing those guys to do that because once they start doing it, then we'll be pretty good. I just think, we're a long way from being the kind of defense that we could even imagine to be. Everywhere.
Did you kind of compromise with Helfrich on getting some of the looks you want that are different?
He's been great.
Yeah.
He really has. It's really, he knows that it's a whole culture mentality, of being an up the field defense and aggressive, and angry, how we want to play. And so he understands that part. Once in a while he'll want me to back it off, and that's only fair. We got 3 new quarterbacks, right? Young. We got 3 new offensive linemen, so we got to be smart, the give and take that way.
How would you assess Jimmy Swain and his role within your defense right now?
I really don't want to talk about any of them right now because I don't think that's fair to the guys playing behind him. I think Jimmy's a great kid. We'll see what kind of football player, and that's for all of them. Okay, so don't take that like I'm being a jerk. I'm not. It's too early because I can be a jerk. But
is it easier switching base front 7 offenses when you have 5 starters from last year gone? Essentially everyone's kind of new.
It's a good question. I think there's some guys who just joined us who really didn't play 2-gap, who played 1-gap in high school. And you can see that a little bit, they don't have to go change what they've kind of learned. I mean, they do, but as far as 2-gap schemes, yeah, there was a little bit of that.
One more question. What have you liked about the Eugene area so far?
This is a great building. We got great fields. We got a great staff, and that's about where I've been. So, and the Residence Inn is great. That's a great hotel. So that's really it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brady.
Coach.